Coming up next, Super Bowl champ Stephon Gilmore will stop by, but not before NBA champ Antoine Walker sits down and hangs out with us. Antoine, good morning. Thanks for coming back, hanging out with us. Yeah. Boy, things are really getting fun in the NBA right now. We're talking Kyrie Irving and his, let's call it a love affair with Boston. According to Danny Ainge, his future in Boston is, quote, more like an engagement with the marriage coming July 1st.
I think they're sleeping together. I don't know about engagement. They're sleeping together.
Mm-hmm. You don't like that? You don't like that, Nas?
And we are moving on. While Irving has been connected to other suitors this offseason, including the Knicks and Lakers, according to our own Chris Broussard, Danny Ainge has his heart firmly set on Kyrie and oh, so much more.
And that's why Danny Ainge, even with all the hints, Kyrie kind of backing off saying, I'm planning to stay here. Even with all that, Danny Ainge is still all in on keeping Kyrie. And he's also all in on going after Anthony Davis. Why? Because he understands Kyrie Irving is a superstar. And while we could be good, really good kind of, without Kyrie, we can't be great without Kyrie. And obviously in Boston, it's about being great and winning championships. Danny Ainge knows every one of those 17 championships they had a superstar leading the way.
Antoine, this is a question we will be asking now until the end of the season. Should Kyrie stay in Boston? What do you think?
I think it should stay based on Boston's roster. When you really look at the young pieces they got in play, the only person really coming up a free agent, I think, is Al Horford, who has an option, but he's not going to opt out of $30 million. So you got everybody coming back. Do I think he's going to stay? No. I believe he's going to leave. I think Kyrie's has shown us it's not about necessarily winning championships with him. I think New York is probably the place that presents the best option for him for what he wants to do. With the shoe deal he has with Nike, the individual where he could be a star there going back home. I just don't think he's a true Celtic. You know, it's like when you're a Celtic, you kind of want to be there. I played there 7 years of my career. I saw Paul Pierce there. I know how true Celtics are. I don't think Kyrie's yet a true Celtic and believes he's a true Celtic.
Well, listen, to Broussard's point, of course, for the Celtics, all about championships. Any organization that's won one title in 30 years, same as the Mavericks, is, of course, focused on nothing but the championships. But the point that I think he's making that I would be very interested to hear the other side to is Danny Ainge is all in on Anthony Davis, even if Kyrie Irving leaves. Because, of course, he's all in on keeping Kyrie Irving. Like, what's your alternative? Like, it's not like, well, if Kyrie leaves, we're in the running for Klay Thompson. We're in the running for Kawhi Leonard. The whole process was, listen, we're going to trade away KG and Pierce for this great deal with the Nets. We're going to stockpile these picks. We're going to hit in the draft, which to their credit,
they've done all of those things.
They've done all those things. We are going to sign a superstar and trade for a superstar. Check, check. Sign Gordon Hayward. Okay, we'll pause on him. Trade for Kyrie Irving. Now we're having to pause on him. And if Danny Ainge has no alternative, the backup plan is, wait, who are we? The backup plan is we've got Al Horford on $30 million, Gordon Hayward on $20+ million, and a nice young core now that we are 8 years removed from the Pierce KG trade.
Well, if he leaves, he doesn't necessarily, they don't bottom out. I mean, I like Terry Rozier. I mean, I think he proved himself that he can be a valuable point guard in this league. Whether he's a starter or not, I don't know, but he can be a very productive point guard for them. They don't go rock bottom. I think you got to, and they got picks.
No, so that's the thing. Don't bottom out.
You don't bottom out. I mean, but you do offer. I mean, there's no question. Danny Ainge has to offer Kyrie Irving the max. Obviously, you want him to stay. There's no way around that. Anthony Davis, I think it's tough because you got to give up some young pieces to get Anthony Davis. I think what makes that attractive, I like Jason Tatum. I think he's a star in the making. Jaylen Brown, he digressed a little bit this year, but he's a two-way player. I mean, it's hard to find those guys, and you may not find them through the draft. So I'm not necessarily sold on giving up everything for Anthony Davis because these guys are established now, and they're ready to turn the corner.
Okay, now, let's say Kyrie does leave, because I don't think that they have a chance at Anthony Davis long-term unless Kyrie's there. They are friends. They have talked about playing together. So for me, I understand Chris Broussard. Yeah, Danny Ainge in Boston, they're all in on Kyrie. Well, they don't have any other choice.
Right.
Like, they don't have any other choice. And the domino effect, if Kyrie decides to leave, yeah, this is a great year of free agency. We don't hear people saying they want to go to Boston, though. Because we have Anthony Davis's dad saying that they treated IT wrong. and he doesn't want his son there long term. If you think that does not have an effect on his boy, then you're missing something there. Look at the list of other free agents. Like, they're not coming to Boston. So Danny Ainge, he better get Kyrie signed. He better hope that they can get Kyrie signed and then land Anthony Davis, because I don't like the plan B or the plan C, because this was the plan. If LeBron James happened to leave, I know this plan because I got this from LeBron James's spokesperson, Nick Wright. When LeBron James decided to leave the East Coast, you got to have your team right on the brink
100%.
to pounce on it, to be a dominant team. So let's look at what's going around. All right, Toronto, they have Kawhi on a rental, but they're looking to potentially rent AD or do something else. Philadelphia, they're going to be stacked for a while. They got Joel Embiid. They got their superstar, how to move forward. Giannis could be MVP of the league there in Milwaukee. So for me, Danny Ainge is the one under the gun.
Right, and they were, and sorry to interrupt, but the timeline was, the reason they weren't pulling the trigger earlier was because they were waiting on LeBron. And they pulled the trigger. The one move they made where they had to give up assets was a move that weakened LeBron, getting Kyrie Irving. And they have been building towards LeBron either aging out of it or leaving the conference as he did. And how long have we heard Anthony Davis being tied to the Boston Celtics? 3 years? Since the moment he signed his extension in New Orleans. The idea that they are going to try to sell, which is, well, even if Kyrie leaves and Anthony Davis doesn't come here, listen, it's still part of the plan. No, the plan missed entirely. Now, it's not like they're going to turn all of a sudden into the Grizzlies. I'm not arguing that. I think Tatum will be an all-star. I think Jaylen Brown's a good player. I like Terry Rozier as a third guard on a team, which is, I think, what you're talking about. But they then all of a sudden take an enormous step back. Even if Toronto loses Kawhi, they're still behind them. Like they are a second-tier Eastern Conference team in that scenario.
Without question, they take a step back, because you lose a guy like Kyrie Irving in his prime, who's a finisher, who's a champion. You can't afford to lose him. But I don't think Kyrie's a Celtic. I just don't think he's bought into that whole Celtic tradition. I think he respects it. He understands what being a Celtic is. They use the word married. I don't think he's married to the Celtics. I don't believe that. I think in free agency, he's going to look for happiness. I think he proved that when he left Cleveland, because if he was about winning, you would have stayed in Cleveland and been in 10, 11, 12 finals easily, and he chose not to do that.
All right, Antoine, we'll see you a little bit later on in the show.
You can say it. They sleeping.
No, you actually cannot say that.
No, I didn't.